We want more recyclables. Good to see you guys. See you. I'm here in plastic. I don't know what's going on with the health committee of the process.
Good morning.
George is
Doing well, how are you? Yes. So I'll be here. I'll be back Tuesday. Yeah. Why don't you get it to me this weekend and just go ahead and include it, and that way I can get it to you Sunday before I leave. Yep. Well, that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
Testing.
Well, I don't, but I'm just trying to make sure.
Pretty bad. Trying to hold it.
Everybody's got a mic now.
That's good. That means it's
Let me think on that. There might be something that John Wyland, there might be something that I can kind of
Yeah, we're.
I did a few polls.
It sounds like it's working.
Well,
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Thank you. Great. Good morning. Good morning.
They just made this up. No, I'll take it back.
All right, welcome. It's 9:05. We'll start the meeting here. Welcome to the regular board meeting of Fort Park Springs Association. We'll get started. We'll start out with a moment of silence and then the pledge. And now pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. Okay, we do have a quorum. We have one board member absent, so we're still good to go. Has everyone had the opportunity to review the minutes of the last board meeting? Yes. Okay, do I have a motion? Or do we have any changes?
No.
No? Okay, do I have a motion?
I motion to accept the minutes as read.
All in favor? Yeah. Secretary's report.
Good morning. Stand up, this is your read.
Sure.
No. Now it is. Sorry, guys. All right, I received a thank you for supporting Kinney County. Obviously still working on the technical side. We received a thank you for supporting Kinney County Hunters Roundup. Thank you for purchasing a table this year. The roundup was a success, and the monies raised will be used for the trapping club and youth programs in the county. Thanks, Donna Schuster. This one is from Joe Alaknis, dated November 11th. To the Board of Directors, the members of Unit 37 in the last year have seen an influx of short-term leases, Airbnbs less than 30 days, and rentals. As property owners, we are not very happy to have these businesses in our once quiet unit. This is a homeowners association. The board should do everything they can to control and limit short-term leases and rental business to maintain our the peace and comfort of others. See Unit 37 CC&Rs, page 2, 5B. All of the lots shall be designated single-family recreational vehicle lots and to be used and occupied for no other purpose other than the single-family recreational vehicle site together with necessary and permitted structures and buildings. This may include enforcing the number of rentals in a unit, enforcing the number of people renting a property, example 2-bedroom total of 4 people, charging an application fee. There needs to be a strict applications process, and quiet time is 10 p.m. with no outside activities. Also, there needs to be a clause in the rental agreement that the owner and or manager has the right to make an unannounced visit at any time of day or night, and proof of adequate amount of insurance. With everything that's happening at the border and the stash houses popping up, we need to feel safe. All rental agreements are to be filled out completely and given to the Fort Admin office and security gate prior to arrival. We, the undersigned of 37, believe the board needs to do what it needs to be done to correct the applications and make sure that the short-term lease Airbnbs aren't used for illegal activity and maintain our peace and comfort. Unit 37. And this is signed by 13 members of Unit 37. I'm also a Unit 37 resident. I was not home at the time, but I would have signed it. Okay. Letter to FCSA for the record. This is from Annabelle McNew. To the Fort Clark Springs Association. I'm submitting this letter to the Board of Directors to be made a matter of record. After thoughtful consideration, I'd like to donate my services for the community survey and Session 1 planning session and cancel further services for Session 2 until a change in communication has been implemented. A disparaging post and subsequent comments made in the independent Facebook group Fort Clark Springs Lot Owners, which falsely suggested that I was contracted to conduct the community survey based not on my proposal or merit, but due to favoritism because of a rumored personal relationship with a board member, and it has prompted me to reevaluate my efforts for FCSA. To my knowledge, there has been no official complaint made about my services to the association. The post only served to encourage gossip, create confusion and unrest, and did not seek to gain official information, understand the situation, or request action. While the accusation is unfounded, insulting, and inappropriate, the distress this post and public gossip has caused my family and the potential for further harassment is simply not worth the discounted compensation that was proposed as the cost of the survey and Session 1. However, as I cannot afford to donate the rest of the phase, I am terminating my proposed continued professional services for the time being. In addition to the work proposed and have completed to date for Phase 1 discovery of a strategic planning and branding effort, I have spent the last several months giving of my time, personal, financial, investments, and efforts to coordinate and manage ghostly tours. I have volunteered for many other marketing efforts for events and projects. I have opened my home to the community for the KCAC Historical Home Tour and have donated and helped to start a Lights at Las Morris event that will offer people a chance to purchase floating luminarias in memory of or honor of loved ones to raise money for future Christmas lights for the enjoyment of our community. None of these efforts have been for the personal monetary gain, but out of love for the place where I have chosen to raise my children and for the enjoyment of Fort Clark Springs residents and visitors. I have tremendous love and passion for this community, where my mother learned how to ride her bicycle, where my children have now done the same, and where I have only just begun to meet and develop wonderful relationships with so many incredible people. But my family's peace and privacy is of utmost importance. I am saddened to see the divisiveness grow recently among fellow members of the association and feel that at this time, through the toxic environment that has grown up on the Lot Owners Facebook group and elsewhere, any of my efforts to improve our shared community experience or invite others to enjoy this special place will be met with the same unkind treatment and disrespect that I experienced this past weekend. I cannot, in good faith, devote my time to providing professional services or creating and coordinating future events that would encourage others to visit when I am not confident that they would be met with the respect and decency that they deserve. The decision to discontinue the current process weighs heavily on me. I am certain there is a larger group of respectful and productive community members and volunteers that are currently devoting their time, money, and energy toward the enhancement of our community, and I am grateful for their work and support. I will continue to support those efforts as much as possible. I hope the situation will spur some thoughtful evaluation of how we communicate and treat one another as members of our community. It is my sense that this particular instance regarding a member post on the Lot Owners group, while inexcusable, is a symptom of a broader problem in communication within FCSA, in which a clear path has not been developed to keep members of FCSA informed of the plans and actions of the association, and the platform and process for members to voice their concerns and opinions has not been adequately provided. I believe there are some reasonable actions that the association can and should take to address this problem, but I also call on all of us as members to reflect on our own actions, responsibilities, and civility to work through proper channels, communicate respectfully, and seek to promote a positive and productive environment that we can all work together to move forward as an association. I remain hopeful that the people of this community will share a common goal in protecting and improving FCS, and given the proper channels, information, environment, we will be able to do so with more productive and respectful conversations about the current needs and future plans in order to achieve our goals. I hope to re-engage professionally with FCSA in the future to continue the critical work that has been started, but I will protect my family until the appropriate steps have been taken towards creating a safe and productive environment. I'd encourage everyone to take a moment to read this article and visit some of the official HOA member groups on Facebook to see how other communities facilitate communication in a positive and productive manner. Annabelle provides a link to an HUB association line, and the title of it is 4 Ways Gossip Hurts Your Community and How to Stop It. It's something we should all be reading and take to heart.
I'm sorry, what was the link again?
We'll post it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a long link, but we can post it, and we also have
Thank you.
printed copies of it. So.
Is there any other correspondence?
Correspondence. No,
Yeah,
that was it on
okay.
correspondence.
Treasurer's report?
Good morning.
The motel revenue for November was $24,764. It's down a little bit from October, which was $20,771. Revenue for the RV park was $13,312 for November, which is up $1,000 over last month of $12,173. The total income for November is $195,887. Our total expenses were $206,960 for a net loss of $11,072. But over the last 2 months, we are still at a positive. We are up $15,200 and, I'm sorry, year to date we are up $3,229.07. I do not have, I wasn't provided the numbers for, I like to provide November of last year, but I wasn't given those numbers today. Preservation has a total of $28,165 in their account. And I also just have the total for our bank accounts this morning, which is, I'm sorry. Oh, sorry. The total balance for all of our accounts, including our reserve fund or restricted fund, is $628,592 as of November 30th. I don't have the most current, which would have a lot of our assessments, which would put us well over $700,000. And I think that's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions? Questions? No? Okay. All right, the executive report, Julie, are you going to read? We have, yeah, oh, okay, 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 go ahead.
No, it's fine. I find it easier to stand up.
Is that one working?
Is it working? No. There we go. All right, is that better? Okay. We are working on it. It's going to be easier to hold this in my hand. All right, this is from Mr. Peterson, his manager's report for December 17th. I want to thank all the volunteers for all the hours spent in the last few months helping us clean up areas around the fort, organize projects through the various committees, decorate for Christmas, help organize fort records and history files, transition the accounting system. In the last few months, we have planted 150 trees throughout the fort. The Par 3 North area will have greens and tee boxes removed to give parade ground a new look, which is actually closer to the original. We will begin and try to repair irrigation on North Par 3. There has been an overall plan for cleanup and repair of areas of the pool, Kickapoo Park, Rendezvous Park, and Highway 90 frontage. This will include barbecue pit replacement, upgrades to picnic spots, bathroom repair, tree maintenance, parking barriers, and area fencing. The plan is to have most of these areas finished by early March. We currently want to implement Concierge Plus by the first week in January. I will add a note on that. Concierge Plus would be our dispatch, yeah, it'll be our way of communicating with software. I've asked Mr. Peterson to check how Concierge will work with QuickBooks. We have all the data for members in QuickBooks. We also have it in Concierge Plus. How are they going to talk with each other? So he's investigating that before we pull any switches on Concierge. Maintenance. Philip and staff have completed many special projects, including planting the 150 trees, removing dead, diseased, or misplaced trees, starting road repair in Unit 14. Units 15, 3, and 14 will be addressed in January. Recreation, special trips have started, and Julie will give another report on recreation. Security and hunting revenue is starting to increase, although it's behind last year's pace. Trapping is also starting to see better results. The RV park, John has assumed duties as RV park manager. Breakfast and potluck Tuesdays have resumed. 23 trees have been planted around the RV park. Golf, very successful tournament last weekend. Brush pile has been eliminated thanks to the weather. They were able to burn it. 25 trees have been planted around the course. Golf maintenance has seen a major cleanup, and we are now working on repairing the building and work facilities. Dickman Hall, 2 new HVAC systems have been installed. And admin, accounting conversion from the black system is progressing well. This could not have been done without the volunteer work of Lisa Vale and Chris and Jim Race. I think Jim understood what was involved, but I know Chris was completely unaware of the extent of the work. I'm not so sure about that. It would take to input all the names and info into QuickBooks. And what he says is, I was skeptical at first that it could be done, but because of their efforts, I now think it will work. Alvin Reagan has also helped Cindy and Allison with many QuickBooks questions, especially in the payroll area. Although we are not completely there yet, we are now much closer to getting a very firm handle on our accounting system and retiring the black system forever. The black system is kind of like an access database, and it's antiquated, so we're working to put that aside. Town Hall is December 21st, focusing on landscaping, trees, and scheduled landscaping maintenance and procedures. Alan Peterson.
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
I might not. I have a question. Just out of clarification, there's no more trees over here at the motor pool? They've all been planted?
I don't know how many are left. I think there may be
There's a few,
A
but
few.
not very many left.
So that we've planted 150, or we haven't planted
Close
them?
to it. He's planning on putting the rest of them down by the pool.
Okay, so there's still some at the motor pool?
There was, I think they were planning on playing them this
I think they were
last week.
planted this
Okay.
week.
Yeah.
Concierge Plus is gonna go on maybe January 1st?
We don't know yet because we don't know how it's going to talk with QuickBooks.
Okay,
It doesn't make sense to have a thing over here that has membership information and a thing over here that has membership information that may or may not talk with each other.
okay.
So
Maybe you might know
that's,
this. How long have we had Concierge Plus?
So
Is that
the,
plugged in, how long?
well, no, so Concierge Plus was a system that was brought in, and we knew when we started that it was a system that was still, like, they were developing pieces of it. And so when we started working with them, there were things that we asked for that they were in development. And with putting in QuickBooks and also working through that system, I mean, that was the first part of, I don't recall when we did it.
Okay.
It's been a long time.
But
and
we're,
so-
we're paying right now for this service. We're not paying
no.
a dime to this service
So we
yet.
have not paid, the bill to my knowledge, we've not paid for what, the time that we've had this system, because Mr. Peterson has gone back and asked them to say, okay, y'all were down, we were down, this has been a hodgepodge of trying to get this together, and so we don't feel as though we owe for this time.
Okay, so January 1st is a big maybe right now.
exactly.
Okay, just clarification. Thank you.
I'm sorry, who is John for the RV park
Where's,
manager?
where's John Wers, he was started in maintenance, went to the RV park, and now is becoming manager out there.
Oh, okay. I hadn't heard that.
No, no, no.
Oh, I did have one other question, he probably can't answer that, because he's not here, is, so he's taking out tee boxes, so have we made a decision to get rid of the par 3, or what is,
That would be a question I think you should address to him.
okay,
Comes back.
we should probably discuss that,
I mean, it's not like it's a par 3 right now, it's a,
no, but if you take out the tee boxes, it won't be a par 3.
that's,
Just saying, maybe that should be
sure.
discussed.
Well, it's my hope that we can decide if that's what we decide to do for him to do for the port.
That's fair.
Because I have not been asked if we're gonna eliminate the part 3. Okay.
It's hard to hear you folks. We really need the microphones.
We can
I-
pass one back and forth, just hold on.
I had stated that I have not been asked if we can eliminate the part 3. If we decide we're gonna eliminate the part 3, then we will instruct Mr. Peterson to eliminate the part 3, if that's what we vote for. But we haven't voted on it, we haven't decided on it, and I have not been asked.
Can we go to, wait, no other questions?
No.
Okay, committee reports?
Committee reports.
Some of these are working, yours is one.
Okay, committee reports. I've got one from Katie Brown. And it says, the golf committee has nothing to report as far as tournaments. However, the committee did pay over $700 for weed control of the Poana? Sorry. I'm not from Texas, if that's a Texas word.
Neither is Poana.
It doesn't look like a Jersey word either, so. Wishing everyone a Merry Christmas and safe holiday season. Hope to see you on the course. Respectfully submitted, Katie Brown.
So we did get correspondence from the airport, but it seems as though that's more of a member issue, so we'll take that up in executive session. It's in your packet, but we got it this morning, and I don't know where the line is between the member issue and their report, so.
So we didn't get one?
We did get one,
Okay.
but it's a member issue.
Okay.
It won't be read in
Yeah.
as correspondence.
Yeah,
You think we can clarify that next month?
clarify.
If there's something that needs to be shared with membership?
Of course.
I mean,
Yeah, once we do it in executive session, we can bring it back to the membership. All right, Recreation Committee report. Do you want to read that? Or do you want me to? I got it. I got it. Recreation Committee has been busy planning our FCS Family Christmas event to be held tomorrow, December 18th in Shafter Hall from 2 to 4. We hope everyone can come out and visit with Santa and Pancho Claus, who will make his comeback appearance this year. Sorry, guys. Please come take pictures with Santa and Pancho. Our first bus trip to San Antonio was yesterday, December 16th. There were 10 people who had signed up. The bus left Fort Clark at 9:30 a.m. and arrived at Market Square at noon. There was a festive atmosphere at the square. At 3, they left Market Square and headed to the Riverwalk, where again they could shop, eat, or just sightsee. The bus picked us up at 6 p.m. just in time to experience the thousands of Christmas lights along the Riverwalk. We arrived in Brackenville around 9:30 p.m. This trip was for the young at heart and we had a great time. We hope to plan more trips in the near future. Please let us know if there are any ideas for day trips. Our January focus will be getting some healthy activities started on the fort and utilization of the Wellness Center. Stay tuned for more information forthcoming.
Chris, the family Christmas got moved to the service club.
Okay. Did everyone hear that? Family, the one with Santa and Pancho tomorrow. What we did say, Shafter Hall has been moved to the service club.
Yes.
there was a
Okay.
dispatch already sent out also.
I believe there was. That's it on,
We've got
you got another one?
Lost Morris.
Last Morris,
Yeah,
okay.
so, do you have that? Sorry, here you go.
I don't have it. Okay, Los Morris Restoration Committee. For tomorrow's board meeting, there is nothing new to report from the Los Morris Restoration Committee. Chris Hale. It's official.
Did they send one in or no?
I don't
have it.
think so.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
Since your last board meeting, the committee has approved 2 permits and sent a question on a variance to the board, and we've not been informed of your decision on that. We've submitted 2 applications to the board for committee members and hope you will decide today on who you'll appoint to our board. Thank you.
Thank you. Do you have a report, preservation?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, Preservation Committee does not have a report for this year, nothing really new to tell you. So
Okay.
We'll be telling you more after the first year.
Okay. And you got checks and everything that you needed from the last board meeting? You're good to go with all that? Okay. Good job.
Great.
Come on up. Start your show.
Yeah, I have good news and bad news. Good morning. For
That
recycle.
one.
This doesn't work, no. Okay,
Needs to be recycled.
yeah, let's recycle. No, we can't, we don't have, we only take plastic. Okay, no metal. Good news and bad news. What's your preference first?
Good news.
Good news, yay. $2,000 extra that I received from the Coca-Cola grant. So we got, from Coca-Cola grant, I've gotten $9,500. Yes. And that's another 1,000 from Rio Grande Electric grant. So I've got enough money to buy the baler that it's going to be refurbished. We can't afford a real new one. And have money, oh, and of course shipping prices and installation. So I've got money left over, which is amazing. So we're happy. The part of that is we probably need a storage facility. I think I mentioned that last month. And so I think Mr. Peterson is going to be looking into the size, how big cement floor needs to be put in, and so on. So that's coming for the future. The bad news is our pallet jack that moves boxes is out of commission totally. And the forklift, you might as well say, is out of commission also. So I've got boxes that are pretty full, ready to have stuff flying off the top, and we can't move them. So I need to get at least a pallet jack, which is a hand truck, I guess you would say, that we could move boxes. And that cost is, and it's right now is in Harbor Freight for $399.99. I have a tax-free form, and that's probably the first priority that I need to get approval from the board. They do have it in the shop, so I could, with a pickup truck, get it today, as a matter of fact. But because the boxes are overflowing and we can't move them, then the people that bring recycle can't put stuff in, which means that I might as well just close the recycle until we get the hand truck. So the forklift situation is bad, does need repair, I hope. And I did find a couple of places in Uvalde that would repair forklifts, but we have to bring the forklift to them. So that's something that we need to think about. There are a couple of places in San Antonio that will come out here and either work on them, or if it's not possible, bring them back to SA and then bring them back to us. So I have a mobile service price, a door-to-door price, hourly labor cost, and who knows more. So it's really, I guess, preferred if we could get this thing to Uvalde. So because, I mean, it sounds like it'd be really, the labor price the guy quoted was $155 an hour. The mobile service, just to have a guy come out, is $85. So it goes on and on. So if we could avoid, using the people in San Antonio, it'd be great to, or if there's some magic guy out here, I haven't found him yet. So anyway, that's the bad news. So priority then is, excuse me, priority is to get the pallet jack at least for $400 immediately. So, yeah. So that's where I'm at. That's my report.
Have you sent all this information to Mr. Peterson?
I sent it to you.
Okay.
Pretty much,
Okay.
yeah.
All right, great. Thank you.
So, thank you. I mean, unless you're ready to say, yes, approve that.
Ms. Elena, thank you so much for all the homework you've done.
Yeah.
And you've already saved Mr. Peterson's time to do all that work.
Yeah.
And I think we should be able to get him the pallet jack, right?
That's not an action. He's Monday, and we didn't get that.
Okay.
Well, maybe magically, a magical person from this area will.
Yeah, I do.
Work on it.
Thank you. I do need, I mean, it'd be wonderful if somebody could, here in Brackettville, could repair the forklift.
Can we put out a dispatch just asking if anyone has that
Call up.
expertise in their
What
background?
exactly is wrong with it?
Right now, what we know, I mean, is there's an oil leak somewhere, probably towards the back. And the second thing we know is the forks slide left to right. And that's surely not good. Right now, Joe put a big giant screw in some hole there to keep the fork steady. And of course, this was donated. We have no idea how old it is. We've been using the thing for 15 years. It was donated from an oil company, and I don't know how the age. We can't find the serial number to try to identify, because that was the first question the guy in San Antonio asked me, how big is it? What's the serial number? And and there's probably something else wrong, but we don't know.
Okay.
So,
Ms. Elena, one more question.
Yeah.
The ongoing problems with the forklift, has that been ongoing for more than 6 months?
oh, absolutely. Oh, yeah. The problem has been, we like pray over it and use it when we need to use it for the,
We
But this is
also
not
put
the
out a
first time you've
dispatch for
advised
prayers.
anybody, right?
yeah, right.
This is not the first time you've advised anybody of that problem, correct?
Well, we talked to maintenance, but the skills that are needed apparently we don't have in maintenance, so.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So, yes, I appreciate it. I did some work on trying to go online to find somebody. And so Amazon sells pallet jacks, but it's much more than $400. It's in 575 something. And the other online, I was figuring, well, maybe it'd be cheaper, but it wasn't. So Harbor Freight is the only one.
It's more practical since it's right.
Yeah, and it's handy, so. Then, of course, we need somebody to put the pallet jack together once we actually open the box. So I hope we have that in maintenance. So,
I might
Thank
have
you.
somebody else.
Yeah.
Helene, I have some questions, okay? I really don't know much. How much one of those totes weigh? I know I can't, that's not a good figure because you have the milk cartons in one, you have the tin in the other one, but my main concern is with this pallet jack, I have a difficult time accepting the fact that you can buy a pallet jack for only $500 or $400. But my next question is, this new pallet jack, will it have the same lifting weight as our old pallet jack? And I presume it's made in China.
Well, of course, they do have electric pallet jacks, but I believe pallet jacks can lift 400 at least, 400 pounds.
So, go ahead.
I'm sorry, I have water in my ear and I'm having trouble
Does
hearing.
this pallet jack have the same lifting weight
Yeah.
as the current one?
Okay, they're pretty standard, and
No, they're really not.
No, but we'll have Mr. Peterson evaluate and make sure that it'll do the job.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's my main concern.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, we'll make sure we get the appropriate equipment.
okay,
We don't want anyone to get hurt and all that, so we'll make sure we get you what you need.
okay, so we're hoping that when Mr. Peterson gets back, we'll get approval for $400 Great, thank you.
We got you covered. Yes, sir.
Put this way.
Doesn't Tim Ward have a business of fixing heavy equipment?
Does he?
He does.
We can reach out to anyone if that's a contact. I mean, I'm sure Julie has his contact, so we can reach out to him to see if that's something he can work on.
Yes.
We'll ask Mr. Peterson to do that.
Thank you.
All right, no problem. Election committee?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning, directors. Good morning, members. Just a reminder that candidate data sheets are due by 5 o'clock on January 2nd. And that candidates, if they want their biography included with the ballot, need to have it turned in no later than the January board meeting, so that we can turn all of that over to Alan. So we have a current limit of 250 words so that we can fit it on a single sheet of paper. And also because we found in the past people don't read anything longer than that. So, okay, and the election committee will then on January 3rd verify the candidate data sheets with Gabby and turn all of that information over to Alan so we can start working on the ballot. Okay, now I have some bad news. One of our candidates has withdrawn his candidacy. Philip Gordon, who had reported that he is ex-U.S. Marine Corps, and his great-grandfather was actually a scout here on the fort. His great-grandfather has withdrawn his candidacy. So I just asked if he would tell me why, and he sent me this email, and I asked him what he wanted me to do with this email, and he said he wanted me to read it at the meeting today because he feels that all members should know this. And in light of the Secretary's report this morning, I think it's more than apropos. I think we have a serious communication problem here, and I don't think it's caused by dispatch, the director, or most of our members. I think it all goes back to websites that report on disinformation. Okay, and this is what he says. Well, I've been here 2 months, and the ugliness of the few and silence of the many on racist and gossip puts me on a defensive. I'm not willing to risk my mental health or safety of my family representing or volunteering for this place. I'm retired at 45 and have a drama-free life. Sold my home and bought this place. The reality is I don't have to do anything, but I chose to, and in the short time I've heard and been in the crossfire. I moved to a community of elders, and well, I expect better. I was raised to respect and honor my elders, but it's becoming hard to even look some in the eye without suspicion. The rhetoric of, quote, illegals, end quote, without knowing truth or situation, and postings on social media platforms where the potential of libel occurs makes me concerned. I myself hide my intellect on many matters, but express loudly that I'm a veteran and a black Seminole, so that these elders can think before opening their mouths on matters they know nothing about. It doesn't work. I have had folks come to me and grill me instead of asking my name and getting to know me. Instead, it's the defensive line of questioning like I'm invading their land, which is, effing ironic. Philip Gordon. So he has withdrawn, so we have 2 candidates. Now, when I received that, I was absolutely appalled that this is going on, and your report seems to back up his problems. So I suggest, ladies and gentlemen, that you get your information from Fort-sponsored websites, dispatch, and not privately conducted websites, because this is a problem that's been going on for several years now. So, anyway, it's not my job as election chair to lecture anyone, but he wanted everybody to know why he withdrew his candidacy. We have 2 remaining candidates. We have Linda O'Brien and Jamie Bordelon. So, do you have any questions for me? Okay.
So I did have a member approach me about the postal rates, and there may be some options to work through some discounted rates based on some of the other information that we send out that's beyond just the election committee. So we do there were limits that you had to reach. So has the election committee looked at this at all? Or?
Not yet. We won't have the final membership list until 60 days before,
Okay.
which is going to give us the number of members that we will be sending ballots to.
Okay.
To whom we will be sending ballots.
So, yes, so I'll ask Mr. Peterson to work with his personnel that send out the coupon books, because I don't know where we are in the range of that, but with that amount of mailing that we're doing as an organization, we may qualify for some different rates. So
that would be fantastic.
Okay.
Again, the printout that we get, and it's been coming from the Black System or DOS, shows the exact number of members.
Okay.
Okay, so we know all we have to do is look at the last page, and it'll tell us how many members we need to send ballots to.
Okay, so I'll coordinate that and then make sure that they keep you in the loop if they find anything out about how we can get a discounted rate.
Right, and then again, we will take all of the information, the copies of the candidate data sheet, and that goes to Alan immediately so we can start working on it. And then the January meeting, we draw for position. There's only 2 people. So far, I would encourage people to turn their candidate data sheets in before January 2nd. So for right now, we have 2. That will go to him, and then at the January regular board meeting, we will draw for positions on the ballot. And then at that point, the biographies need to, if they want to participate, we don't make you turn in anything to be in with the ballot. Turn that in, and then at that point, there will be no changes when we start on the mailing process. Okay?
Ms. Sandy, one thing, can you remind Julie maybe once a week to notify the membership due to the issue of communication? Everybody, I'm assuming everybody knows we have an election, but like reinforce the dispatches.
Well, it's one of the things I was going to actually talk
once or twice a week, so that there's absolutely no doubt about it that we have an election.
No, in fact, this is one of the things I was going to ask
Okay.
Julie to do, because we should send it probably a couple times a week.
Yes.
Up until January 2nd.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay? Yeah.
I encourage that.
So, while I'm standing here, Julie, instead of trying to catch you after the meeting. Any other questions?
Yeah, so in January, when we have the candidates up and they're drawing for their spots, could we get a rundown of the cost for an election, just from your perspective? I know there are other costs that we have, and we'll have those figures brought to the meeting as well. But just like from your experience, you've done this several times. I think it's very important for the membership to understand how expensive it is to do this, and that the participation. I mean, we're lacking in participation.
Typical.
And we're spending a lot of money to do this, and so if we're going to spend the money and we're going to do that, which by law is something that because we're silent on electronic ways to do this, we have to do it this way, and it's very expensive. So participation is extremely important.
I can give you a general range. The auditor costs about $1,000. Is that right?
Yeah.
And the
Yeah, it's $1,200.
yeah, it's gone up. It started at $1,000. The auditor we used several years ago cost us about $4,000, $5,000. So we found this new auditor, and it's been about $1,000. The cost in general runs around $3,000, $3,000 to $3,500 for an election, and that's printing of envelopes, ballots, because we have that done. We outsource that because it's faster. So it runs about $3,000. Okay, and you can actually pull the information from last year, because once we hand that over and the ballots go out, the election committee is done with their responsibilities. So after that, totaling up what the election cost is up to admin and the board.
Yeah, we looked at it earlier this year, and I think it was, adding those additional costs, it was about another $1,000. So it's about $4,000 to run an election. And just so that everyone just is more informed, the auditor, when we send out the ballots, Sandy mentioned that once they send out the ballot, they're done. And so when you receive your ballot and then mail it back in, it goes directly to the auditor where they tabulate that information and then give it to us at the annual meeting. And if I messed up that process at all, correct me.
No.
Yeah.
No, in fact, the return address on the envelopes is the auditor's office. So we never touch the ballots until hopefully she'll call us later down the line and we can bring them back here way after the election.
Yeah.
So once those ballots go out, we don't touch them until the count's been made. And then I would encourage the board again to, after the auditor's representative reads off the results, that someone here on the board president or someone, again reads the letter, because in the past we've had some difficulty understanding of the person that was speaking for various reasons, microphones, whatever, and then people don't listen or don't hear. So it's nice to just repeat it again.
Yes,
so everybody hears it, and then of course we publish it on dispatch.
Yes.
Any other questions?
Ms. Sandy, just jumping ahead a little bit, I know because we're not gonna have another meeting, by the time we have our next meeting in January,
Yes.
The people who wanna get in are gonna be already there. If we have, let's just pretend if we have 2 or 3, there'll be 3 spaces for write-ins? Or
Yeah.
just based on 2 spaces or 3 spaces?
There's same number of spaces for write-in as there are positions open.
Okay.
So there'll only be one space for write-in.
One space.
Yeah.
Because there's only one office open.
Okay,
Right.
correct.
Now next year we'll get back on track.
Yeah.
Yes.
Gotcha.
2, 2, and 1. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
I have a question, but I don't know it's about it. But as far as, so we've migrated to QuickBooks, but are we still going to use the black system for the addresses, or?
My understanding is that we're going to run the systems in parallel until we're very comfortable, which will be well past the election.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Because we don't want to pull.
Miss anybody?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah. All the data has to be transferred.
Right.
Or an input for QuickBooks from DOS. And until you can match both lists and they're exactly the same.
Yeah.
That was my question.
You'll be pulling from there.
I mean, generally, whenever I've been a part of a system changeover, I mean, you run like 9-12 months in parallel.
Yeah.
So
I just don't want to assume anything.
Yeah,
That's why I'm asking,
I can't
I'm
see
sure
us.
people would like to know.
Yeah, I can't see us being completely off the black system anytime soon.
No.
I mean, we'll move over and be functioning out of QuickBooks, but we'll be good.
Yeah, I went through it with claims.
Yeah.
We went over, and it takes a while to do it, and we have to make sure that we have an accurate membership list.
Sure.
So, any other questions?
No, and I'll just take a moment to highlight last year's situation. So the year prior, the same list that she's talking about produced numerous returns, ballots, and information simply because we had bad information. Last year, the election committee and the board personnel had worked through the systems where we only received 19 ballots back. That's pretty good. That's much better than it's been in recent years. So we are reaching, the membership, and there is some personal responsibility around making sure that your information is correct. And there is a process, which I think you only had one last year. So there is a process. So Mr. Guzman was, because the secretary was on the ballot, that we have one person from the board who is the liaison to the election committee, and handles any situations where people do not receive ballots or their ballot is incorrect or there's an issue. And you only had one last year.
1 or 2 tops.
Yeah, 2.
Yeah,
And
maybe.
okay, so and those people got their ballots. So if you do have a friend or associate relative, whatever, that doesn't get their ballot, there is a process to get them their ballots. So just work through that. All right. So community council.
Oh, I'm sorry. I had my finger in my ear. Well, it's the truth.
Oop, the other one.
That's the one.
Oh, you just told her and I can't remember.
Good morning. It is really wonderful to see all these new faces here. Thank you and keep it coming. Oh, hi, Mr. Man.
Except for,
Okay, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Kathleen Warm. I'm currently Secretary of Community Council. Okay, this is our monthly report. Oh, and as I know, I always do this. The trip to San Antonio was wonderful. Anna did a great job. We did not have to worry about driving. We did going there and driving back in the dark. The Mercado, or whatever it was called, Market Square, was great. They dropped us off there. We walked there. Then they picked us up. We went to the Riverwalk, did a little bit of traveling there. We came back, and it was just fine. We saw what we could see in a short period of time, but we didn't have to worry about driving, and we could drink. Okay. Now onto my report, sir. Okay, these are the notes from our December 10th meeting. These are items that are discussed, and the board already has some of them. The Adult Center. It was found out that the asbestos and water leak will not affect replacing the toilet. We can purchase a toilet for the ladies' bathroom. Research will be done to find one, and the board has approved the expenditure from the $2,000 we set aside. More suggestions will be discussed at our next meeting. The elections. Our annual meeting is January 14th, 2023. And it is at this time that elections are held. The positions are the president, and that is only for 1 year term, okay, for 1 year, because Helena is resigning. The other position is that of secretary. This is a 2-year term. According to our bylaws, I cannot serve again, as I have been holding that position for 6 years. Okay? If you would like to run for any of the positions and get really into the program so you know what's happening here on the fort, that would be great. If not, please get people to come on January 14th. The Cavalry Brigade, for those of you that don't know, okay, the Cavalry Brigade meets the first Saturday of each month. Please watch the dispatch for each project. Join us, get some fresh air, get to see the fort, and get to know new people. The Cavalry Brigade has been going on for years, and then finally it kind of disbanded, but we are back together again. And you do see some really neat places down here on the fort. Fort Clark Days, things are progressively nicely. We are bringing back the commissary, which we used to use many, many years in the past. The activities are going to be there again. She's going to go for it. Vendors, entertainment, food, beer and wine this year. And Francis and Christina are doing a bang-up job, so put that on your calendar. Christmas movie. Allison will show the Santa Buddies Legend of Santa Paws. That was Thursday. To the elementary students. It was noted that an anonymous donor donated the license fee of $110. And it's for people like do this that Allison and Community Council can continue this wonderful program. I saw her this morning, and I believe she said over 225 students came. And that's a free one. Lowe's employees donated popcorn and water for the children.
Awesome.
Yes, so if you go there, Community Council already did send a letter of thank you to them. Yes, and it went right to the employees. Okay. The Baylor, Helena did a little bit on that one there. A very lengthy discussion was held with suggestions. Helena received $2,000 from Coca-Cola. We now have enough money to purchase a baler. We should buy it now as it is affordable. Major concerns are where it would be stored until we get a covered area for it, and the forklift. Maybe it could be stored at maintenance. Electricity is going to be needed for the baler. Would the forklift